Just getting my podcast started. Good morning. Good morning. It's Masterful Mornings. And today we're going to be talking about broken promises. Broken promises. So this is a big deal. It's a big deal because we keep promises, we try to other people. We make a lot of promises to other people. And then we make promises to ourselves. And the promises that we make to ourselves are generally things to do with our health or a bad behavior that we've picked up. So we try to keep these promises and we say things like, I'm going to start eating healthy, or I'm going to start working out tomorrow, or I'm going to start doing this, or I'm going to start doing that, and I'm not eating any more meat, or I'm not doing this, or, you just start making all these promises. And the problem is that we break a lot of those promises. And let's go into why we break those promises. Okay. First of all, you've probably put in a lot of programming in there throughout the years saying you can't do this, you can't do that, it's too hard. I'll do this for this person, I'll take care of myself later. And we create some programming in there. We've got some records playing, so to speak, right? We've got some records playing in the background telling us how to do things. So even though consciously we want to change that habit or break that habit or create a promise to ourselves from now on, blah, blah, blah. We say these things. And because of that, we get upset when we have broken those promises to ourselves. So one of the things is, number one, we are creatures of habit. We create some programming and that programming tells us what to do, right? That programming decides whether we can do something or not do something. It's already decided it when we say it. And when we say we're going to make these changes, I know in that moment you might believe it, but how believable really is it? Good morning, Trisha. So the first thing you need to do is start breaking some of your belief systems that you put in around yourself saying that you can't do that thing. So for instance, a big one for everyone usually at the end of the year is I want to lose weight, or I'm going to start jogging, or I'm going to start going to the gym, or all these different things that we promise ourselves. And then we find that after a while, a couple of weeks, a week, a few days, we break that promise. We're also looking for instant gratification, right? We look for instant gratification. So you want to start something and see some immediate results, right? You want to see some immediate results. And when that doesn't happen, you get frustrated. And the one thing I'm going to say to you is most promises come with some short-term discomfort, meaning it takes you a while to sort of step out of your comfort zone to do something that you want to do that's worth doing. And then to see that long-term gain, right? So we want to see that long-term gain, but we want it right now. So there are some things in this life, good morning, Lisa and Linda, that are short-term or instant gratification. There are some things that we can do. Good morning, Rima. I want you to think of habits differently. Instead of thinking of it as habits that you want to break or things that you want to bring into your life, I want you to think about it as changing behaviors, bringing something new into your world, and understanding when you make this promise to yourself or when you make this vow to yourself that by bringing this new thing into your world, you know that there is going to be an adjustment period. You know that. And also, how about taking baby bites? So what I mean is sometimes when we make promises, we say that, okay, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to start exercising. I'm going to start eating right. I'm going to start, you make this long list of things that you're going to do, and it's too much. So my thought is, how about bringing them in one at a time? Do one for a week. Start going to the gym. Automatically eating better. And I'm just using these as examples. Okay. So it could be anything. But automatically, the other things that you want to do that go with that are going to start to fall into place. You're going to automatically want to do those things. Okay. So just keep it slow. Keep it easy for yourself. Don't start doing something full hog and you're in it and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to do this every single day and And that also can become a problem for you. All right. Just because it's too much too fast. When we change habits where we're not allowing ourselves to have something anymore. So for instance, let's say, you want to quit smoking, or you want to, you want to start jogging, but you don't want to sit in front of the TV anymore, or you don't want to watch TV anymore, or whatever it is. You're depriving yourself of something. Our body is set up that when we deprive ourselves of something, our body wants more of it. Okay. So deprivation, that's why a lot of diets don't work, because, it's all of a sudden the next day you're changing your complete plan of eating. And your body has been accustomed to certain things. So when you're depriving it, it wants more of it. And that's why a lot of people, when they stop the weight loss, when they stop the diet, so to speak, they end up gaining back more than they had, gaining back more weight than they lost. And that doesn't make you a failure. That's just some programming that's playing in the background. So for instance, when I am, good morning, Tina, good morning, Pros, and Jesse, and Sammy, hi. So when we make a promise to ourselves to make a change, we also have to be forgiving of ourselves when we didn't do it perfectly that day. So my biggest saying to myself, and this is a big one for solopreneurs too. So because we're trying to do everything, and sometimes it becomes overwhelming, and it's 1% per day. Think of it as 1% per day. You're making some changes in your life, 1% per day. Making promises to yourself is great. You should want to improve yourself. It's a good thing to want to be better. But don't expect it to all happen in one day. Expectation will always lead to disappointment, right? Expectation will always lead to disappointment. So don't expect that you can do everything in one day. All right. Be kind to yourself. Understand that this is going to take a little bit of time. And consistency, excuse me, consistency creates momentum. So when you start doing something, be consistent. Do a little bit every day. Don't expect that you're going to run a marathon tomorrow if you've never run before. Trainers will even tell you that. You need to train. You need to get yourself ready for the change. And you need to be positive with yourself. So if you give yourself so much to do and you can't do it, and you don't get that instant gratification, what is the next thing that happens? Oh my God, I try to do this thing and I can't do it. What's wrong with me? You'll say things like that. Maybe not those exact words, but things like that. And you're sending messages to yourself because those feelings have emotions. Those words that you said just have some emotions. And you're creating some programming that you can't do it. And then that cycle continues. It's this vicious cycle. So instead of making promises that are so huge, think about it as 1% per day. Don't think about the outcome. Know what your outcome is going to be, absolutely, what you're aiming for. But as you're working on this on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on an hourly basis, whatever your timetable is for this, whatever this promise that you've made to yourself. 1% per day. You know what your outcome is going to be. Don't focus on that. You know that already. Now it's, what am I doing today? Focus only on that. Because then when you've completed that one thing that you were going to do today, when you took that step that you wanted to make today, then you feel like you've achieved something. Then you feel good. Then it's like, I did it, right? I did it. And you feel good because you did it. And all of us are different in how fast we can create change. Because why? Because we have different programming. We have different belief systems put into place. We have different triggers that are in there. And for each one of us, that's going to take what we want to do a different amount of time. Our metabolism is different. Our biology is different. Yes, things are set up in generally the same places, but that doesn't mean that we operate the same. We are not robots. Okay, so just understanding that. And understanding your why. Why do you want to do this thing? What's the criteria behind it? What makes this thing that you want to promise yourself so important? You need some motivation. You need some leverage on yourself. So what is that thing? Why? Why do you want to do this? You know, whatever you've promised yourself, why do you want to do it? Why is it important to you? What's your why? You know, what makes that thing so important to you? Good morning, Karen, that you need to do it. You need to have some criteria. You need to know why you want to do it. Because then that makes it also easier. That helps you, that motivates you, that pushes you forward. Okay? And it's got to be a strong thing, like a big motivation, right? A big thing. So what I've said to you here is that change can be difficult, change can be hard, but that's because most of us think of the end game. This is how I want to look. I've been working out for 2 weeks. Why don't I look like that already? I'm not getting any closer, right? So we sabotage ourselves. A lot of it is sabotaging ourselves. So routine is paramount in creating a new change that you want to make. So you need to create a routine for yourself. I don't care. Stick sticky notes everywhere. Decide what you're going to do. Look at your time. Look at your schedule. Schedule in these things that you're promising yourself. Even if it's about changing a behavior towards someone. Schedule in a time where you're going to sit down and think about it. Not everything has to be a physical thing. Schedule in a time where you can sit down and see yourself in your mind's eye being the way that you want to be. Schedule that time. Even if it's for 10 minutes a day, it doesn't matter. Feel something about it. If we're talking about changing a behavior towards someone, then see yourself doing it in your mind's eye. Sense yourself in some way. Imagine yourself doing this thing the way that you want to do it, and feel the emotion that you would feel if you did it. These are sending messages into your energy and into your subconscious mind. It's a form of self-hypnosis. Okay, so you need to visualize it though. How are you going to get better? Emile Coué has a saying, a self-hypnosis that's been famous for, I don't know, probably since pretty close to how long hypnosis has been around. And it's every day in every way, I get better and better. Every day in every way, I get better and better. So here's what I would like you to do. Every night before you go to sleep, I would like you to, you've done everything. You've read your book, you've done your bedtime ritual, everything is done. It's time for you to put the covers up over you and actually close your eyes and go to sleep now. I want you to say to yourself 10 times, and I want you to count it on your fingers. Every day, in every way, I get better and better. Every day, in every way, I get better and better. Now, just saying the words, that's great, but not enough. You need to close your eyes. The reason why I want you to count it is because I want you to make sure you say it 10 times before you fall asleep. But you need to close your eyes and see yourself, sense yourself, feel yourself, imagine yourself. Exactly what does better and better look like for you? What does better and better feel like for you? How do you sense better and better? Bring your senses into it. How would it feel? What would that look like? Right? What would that, is it something that you want to taste? Is it something that you want to hear? Bring your senses into it. And then bring your emotions into it. How good it's going to feel when you are that. Every day, in every way, I get better and better. Classic self-hypnosis. Try it. Don't try it. Let me reframe. Do it. Do it. And you're going to notice that you're going to start making changes because you're sending a message to your subconscious that says, I want to be better and better. This is what better and better looks like and feels like. And this is the emotions it's going to give me to do it. Your subconscious is set up to please you. So if it knows that that's what you want, and that's like you've sent it all the information it needs, you're creating a new program. So I use this when I was going through, what women go through, the change, right? I was doing it through that because I started having my sleep was starting to get upset. I sleep like the dead. So when my sleep is getting interrupted because I'm sweating or whatever, that was upsetting me. That was not what I wanted to be doing. So I started saying this. And not only was I saying this and seeing myself sleep and not be interrupted, but throughout the day, I was talking about how lucky I was that I went through the change without ever having to go through any symptoms. And I would hold my head high and be like, I am so lucky. So I would just tell myself this all the time. I'm so lucky. I'm so fortunate that it was just like a switch. It was on and off. Within a week and a half, no more. Not even one symptom. We have the power. I tell you that all the time. Right? I tell you that all the time. We have incredible, incredible power. And because we have this amazing power, we need to remember that we can do anything. So you can make those changes that you want. You just have to get your mindset proper, okay? And you have to be consistent in order to create the momentum that you want. All right? And when you do fall, I want you to think about it like a baby, or when you learned how to ride a bike, right? When a baby learns to walk, a baby falls down, a baby gets up. Baby falls down, baby gets up. Baby uses some help to stand up, falls down. Okay, what would happen if baby decided that I am so frustrated, I can't do this, I'm not walking. That's it, I'm done. Right? Or when you're riding your bike, you fall down. Right? You fall down, you skin your knee, you wreck your elbow, but you get back on, you do it again, and you do it again, and do it again till you can ride that bike. Okay? Baby doesn't get frustrated, baby gets up again. When we're kids, we don't get frustrated, we get back up on that bike and we do it again. As adults, for some reason, we've lost this ability to not get frustrated with ourselves and just, we end up stopping. Be the baby. Be the child. Don't get frustrated. Be kind to yourself. Get up and do it again. And just 1% per day. Do not overwhelm yourself. 1% per day. And work on one or two things at a time. The rest of it will come. The rest of it will fall into place. You will know when to bring your other promises in. But just try to be kind to yourself. Okay? And don't think about it as breaking a habit. More about just changing a behavior. You're just changing something, or you're bringing something new into your world. Okay? And this takes time. It takes time, right? Not a lot of time, but some time. And will there be short-term discomfort? Maybe, depending on what you're doing. There could be. You might have some short-term discomfort. It's outside what you normally do. So yeah, will you have some short-term discomfort? Maybe. But you will have long-term gain. Okay? So that's what I want to talk to you about this morning. And remember that if you beat yourself up, there's that saying of garbage in, garbage out. If you say things to yourself that are disempowering, then what you are trying to do is going to be that much more difficult. Empower yourself. Oh, and the biggest thing is, don't forget to reward yourself. You don't have to wait till you get to the end, that outcome, to reward yourself. Reward yourself along the way. Give yourself incentives and reward yourself along the way. If you've only lost, we're going to use weight loss right now. If you've only lost 1 pound, yay, right? Reward yourself. Small little rewards. If it's a behavior that you're trying to change and you did it really good for 2 days and you were able to do it, reward yourself. I did a great job. Say good things, empowering things to yourself. Not because you're trying to trick yourself, maybe a little bit because the subconscious is listening. And when you reward yourself for doing something in a good way, when you feel really good about it, then the subconscious is taking a cue and going, oh, I think I'll give her more of this, or I'll give him more of this. Okay, things begin to change. So, broken promises. You do make a big effort to keep your promises outside of yourself, to people outside yourself. Now it's time to keep the promises that you make to yourself. And part of that is putting yourself first as well. I always believe that we all have to be first in our lives, not last. In this society, women have been trained or believed or whatever that we have to be last in our world, look after everybody else first and look after ourselves last. Not so. If you feel good about who you are, if you feel happy about who you are, then you will be better for everybody in your life. If when you look in the mirror, you are saying, yeah, I'm pretty hot, I'm awesome, I feel good about who I am, then how much better a mom could you be? How much better a wife? How much better a friend? How much better a boss, an employee? And that goes for everyone, not just women, but men too. But women are notorious because we like to nurture. Women are notorious for putting themselves under, take out the garbage. They will do everything for everyone else first and for themselves last. No, you need to be first. You need to switch. That's got to be flipped on its head. You need to be first. And then you can be good for everyone else. You can be better for everyone else. Because if you think you're good now, you're going to be awesome later if you put yourself first. Okay, that's super important. So, no more broken promises. No more too many expectations. No more instant gratification. You will find it. It will be fast. It just won't be this minute, okay? But it will be fast. Trust me on that. As long as you do things in a way that you can understand yourself and why things sometimes take a little bit longer. Okay, and what's going on behind the scenes that you can't see that's holding you up, and what you need to get around those things. Okay, so have a fantastic day. Love yourselves, be kind to yourselves, be generous to yourself today, and be grateful that you got this. You got this. You can do this. And remember, 1% per day. Okay, 1% per day. Any more than you can do, 1% per day. If you do 3% today, bonus. Good for you. Aim for 1%. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.